So to understand better, so what is exactly CDP? So CDP stands for Cisco Discovery Protocol. The very first point is CDP stands for Cisco Discovery Protocol. So it's a discovery protocol, which means if you have a device, so whichever the device, like I can consider here, like this is my switch, Cisco switch, okay? This is my Cisco switch. So there in the upstream we have a router. This is also a Cisco's router. Then here we have a few access points. Okay, AP number 1 and AP number 2 access point. This is also a Cisco's devices. So at that scenario, when you try to run the command here in the switch, like in the privilege mode, show CDP neighbor. So with the help of this command, right, this is going to show you on which port which device is connected. On which port which device is connected. So this is our gig 1/1 port. This is our gig 1/2 and gig 1/3. So here it is going to mention that, like in gig. So here exactly it is going to mention what is the local port and the remote port as well. Local port and remote port. So first it will mention the local port information, and then it is going to mention the remote port information and type of the device, like type of the device as well. So local port is, this is the local port, like gig 1/1 and gig 1/2, gig 1/3. These are all your local ports. So what is remote port? Remote port means, so this port is connected to which device? Router. So what is this port? Like whatever the port you have here, right? So that port it is going to be take on the CDP's neighbor, like gig 1/0. So generally if you see in the access point, right, it is there you will have a gig 0 port only. So the remote port will be gig 0. So it is going to take the information like this, gig 0/0. And if it is a router, right, L3 device, then it will show you as a R/S, whichever the L3 device. So if it is an access point, then it is going to show you APE, access point. It is going to show you as a access point. I'll show you that practically also. So so CDP is by default running in all the Cisco devices. CDP will run by default in all the Cisco devices. With the help of CDP, you are going to discover what is a device is connected. C stands for Cisco, D stands for discovery, P stands for protocol. So this switch, okay. So in every Cisco's devices, CDP is going to be run by default, right? So it is going to discover what is your remote device. So here we connected one of the router, right? So if you run the command show CDP neighbors, what devices we have in a remotely, that it is going to show you. Likewise, the upstream device we have a router. Likewise, here we have a access point. Here also we have access point. That it is going to be taken care of. Okay. So the very first point is CDP stands for Cisco's Discovery Protocol. And CDP is enabled by default in all switches. So here I can mention enabled by default in all Cisco devices. So what are the devices we have in the Cisco? Either it could be a router, it could be switch, or it could be an access point, or it could be a WLC. So in all the Cisco's devices, it will be enabled by default. And CDP advertisements are sent through all the ports by default, which means, see here, so by default CDP is enabled here, right, in every devices. So it is going to send the advertisement to all the connected devices. Even this device will also send the advertisement. This device will also send the advertisement by default. So you can mention this point as well. Okay, CDP advertisements, right? The CDP advertisement. Yeah. CDP advertisements are sent through all the ports by default. So this is our switch. So we are considering this is our 48 ports of switch, right? So in all the 48 ports of switch, that CDP advertisements are going to send by default in all the ports. Then CDP advertisements are sent every 60 seconds. Every 60 seconds, guys. So whatever the advertisements, like the CDP advertisements, are going to send every 60 minutes. Every 60 seconds actually. Every 60 seconds means 1 minute. So likewise, even in the router side, when we are going to perform the routing, so if you configure here the OSPF, any dynamic routing protocol, here also any dynamic routing protocol, router 1 used to send the hello message, right, to check the router 2, right, so whether the router 2 is available or not, or alive or not. So this router will also used to send the hello message. So the hello message used to send every 10 seconds, and the dead timer or the hold on timer is for every 40 seconds, right? If the router 1 is not replied to router 1 within 40 seconds, then router 1 is going to remove his neighborship, so router 2 is no more neighbor to me, right? So likewise, same thing, to check the availability of the device, to check the status of the device. So in CDP also, every 60 seconds, which means in every 1 minute, so the devices are going to send the CDP advertisements. CDP advertisements are sent via the multicast address. Via the multicast address. So in routing protocol also we have the multicast address, right? Likewise, same thing in CDP, which is going to send the advertisement with the help of multicast address. Multicast address. So this multicast address is bit different. So let me note down here. So the address is 01, okay, colon 00 colon, once again, 0C colon CC colon CC colon CC. So this you need to remember, guys. This you need to remember, because in interview they are going to ask you. So see, every device is going to send the multicast the advertisement, right? CDP advertisement by default in all the ports. So when it is sending the advertisement, CDP advertisement, so it is going to use the multicast address. What is the multicast address? So this is what the multicast address. 01 colon C 00 colon 0C colon CCC colon CCC colon CCC. So this is what the address which CDP is going to be used. Okay. Now, what is the advantages? What is the advantages of the CDP? If you have the CDP, what is the advantages and what is the disadvantages also? We are going to discuss about the disadvantages also. We have the disadvantage. Okay, we have few disadvantages. When the CDP is enabled in all the scenarios, we have the disadvantages also. What is the disadvantage means? Consider here we have ISP, Internet Service Provider, which is connected to our WAN router. So if you by default CDP is running, right, in all the ports, it used to send the advertisement in all the ports. So if you have like this scenario, like in the ISP which is connected, so you definitely need to disable the CDP here, or else the outside device, the remote device, whichever the customer edge device is there, like we are the CE customer edge, we have the P edge device, provider edge device are going to know about your device status. So what iOS you are going to use, what is the make and model of device you are going to be used, on which port you are connected, and what is the IP address on that particular port. So that is what the disadvantage. So don't be, even in interview also they are going to ask you, okay. So in CDP is the good thing, okay, but wherever the WAN connectivity, wherever the WAN connectivity is connected, right, so towards the internet, there we don't want to be enable the CDP. If you enable there, you might lose your information. I'll show you what information you might lose, okay, what information you might lose. Now, so what is the advantage of the CDP? So the advantages of the CDPs are, once layer 1 is active, what is layer 1 means? Layer 1 means what? In the physical layer, like layer 1, in OSI model, we have 7 different layers, right? So 7 layers, layer 1, layer 1 to layer 7. So layer 1 means what? Cable, right? This cable, once you connected to this particular access point or the router, so once this port is up, okay, once this port is up, CDP information used to be advertised to the neighbor device. So this is our switch. So who is our neighbor? So router 1, this router is our neighbor, and even this device will also be a neighbor, this device also be a neighbor. Only the directly connected information, only the directly connected devices. See here, we have here we have a different devices, right? So if I run show CDP neighbor, show CDP neighbor in this particular device, like access switch, so I used to get the information of this switch and this switch, because whichever the devices are directly connected with me, So I can able to pull the information of only the directly connected devices. I can't get the information of this switch and this WLC because it is indirectly connected. It is not going to be connected directly with me. So this is also an important point which you need to remember. So in the advantage of the CDP, right? Okay, once the layer 1 is active, CDP sends the information to the active neighbor, which means you connected here between the switch 1 to switch 2, you lay the cable and you connected the cable here to here. So once these ports are up, so see here it turned green, right? So once it is up, this switch used to send the CDP advertisement. CDP advertisement. So we know the time also every 60 seconds. Even this switch will also send the advertisement in every 60 seconds. Okay. It can be used for layer 1 and layer 2, layer 3 troubleshooting. CDP is going to be used for layer 1 and layer 2 and layer 3 troubleshooting. What is layer 1? Physical layer. Layer 2 is the data link layer and layer 3 is the network layer. So layer 1 means your cables, physical layers. Data link layer means what? In data link layer we have like switches going to be operated, right? And in layer 3 means IP address. We are going to send the IP address. We will get that information in a moment. Just as of now, try to remember that, right? So once the just try to remember. So in the advantages, once the neighbor is up, right? So once the neighbor is up, okay, once layer 1 is active, the CDP sends the information to the active neighbor. So one is active, CDP sends the information. What information? CDP advertisement information to the active neighbor. So here consider we have a switch here. Right? So we have an access point here. We connected a cable. So once this port is up, this side port is up, even here also port is up, right? So this switch used to send the CDP advertisement. CDP advertisement. And this is also going to play the CDP advertisement. CDP advertisement. Likewise, if this particular device is connected to the router, okay, in that situation also, this switch used to send the CDP advertisement and this router used to send the CDP advertisement to this particular switch. So this is what I mentioned here. Once layer 1 is up, means if you have a good you have a connectivity and you connected the cable between the devices and that port is up, then CDP used to send the messages. CDP used to send the advertised messages to the neighbor, right? So the active neighbor. So for this switch, right? For this switch, this router will become the neighbor, and for this router, this switch will become the neighbor. Likewise, to this switch, this access point will become the neighbor, and this access point, this switch will become the neighbor, right? So it's a kind of vice versa. And with the help of like CDP, with the help of CDP, we can able to troubleshoot like a layer 1 and layer 2 and layer 3 troubleshooting issues. Layer 1 and layer 2 layer 3 troubleshooting issues, guys. So information advertised by the CDP. So we mentioned here, right? So the CDP advertisement. So what information will go in this advertisement? What information will pass between this advertisement? So this switch used to send some advertisement, right? So every 60 seconds. So even this router used to be sending the CDP advertisement in 60 seconds. So what information will have that particular advertisement? That I am going to mention here. So what advertisement? So it is going to have like a logical address. If defined, if you configure the IP address, then it will carry the information like the IP address information also, and the host name of the remote device, okay, and hardware platform. I'll show you this, okay, hardware platform. The important thing is iOS version as well. So which version, which iOS you are running, like currently which iOS is running on that particular interface, and interface type and the interface number of local and remote devices. So I'll mention here local and remote devices port numbers and the port information. So this is called your CDP advertisement message. CDP advertisement. This information will contain in your CDP advertisement message. This information. See, by using this, anyone can try to compromise your device. By using this, anyone can try to compromise this your device. See what information is going to be have, like, so here. So if I run the show CDP neighbor command here. So if I run the commands here, particular command in this particular switch, so I'll get to know the remote device. So this remote device IP address. So what IP address is configured on this router, and the host name of this particular router, and so what is the platform, like make and model. So what model number device we are going to be use this, that also I'm going to know from this switch, and the iOS version, what operating system is running on this router, that is also I'm going to know, and local port, from which port I connected, from which port. Local port means, so where you are checking, that will become the local port, and the remote port, so what the remote device we have it, so on which port this cable is connected. By using CDP, we used to be like, we will be prepare the topology as well. Topology. By using CDP, we can prepare the topology without knowing the topology, without knowing the architecture. So we can prepare the topology as well with the help of CDP, so that we can get to know where exactly it is connected, right? So once the layer 1 is active, devices used to be sent the CDP advertisement, and with the help of CDP, we used to have, like, we used to troubleshoot layer 1, layer 2, and layer 3 troubleshooting. Layer 1, layer 2, and layer 3 troubleshooting. And every CDP advertisement message will contain the information of the IP address of the device, like which device, remote device IP address information, and the host name of the remote device, and the hardware platform of the remote device, and the iOS version, local and remote port of the devices. Will get to know that information as well, right? So we discuss about what exactly CDP and how CDP used to be work. Now see. So if I am in core switch, okay, so who will become my remote device? This will become my remote device, and this will become my remote device, right? So I am in a core switch 1. So if I run the command here, show CDP neighbor, who all are my neighbor? So whichever the device is directly connected, that devices are going to become your neighbor. And you will get to know that, okay, what is the host name of this particular device as a switch 2, and what is the local port and the remote port, like what is the model of this particular device, and what iOS version it is going to be used. So this information you used to be get, guys. Okay. So even from here to here, this information, because each and every device will have a identical information, because in the CDP there will be advertisement, right? The CDP advertisement used to be sent between the devices in every 60 seconds, which means 1 minute. So logically, guys, we will have this kind of topology in your switching architecture topology. See, we have a core switch here. Here also we have a core switch redundancy. Even though we will have another cable here, in between those cable we are going to be run the ether channel or the port channel. That will also be possible. Just to make it simple, I'm creating this topology. We are taking 4 switches, switch 1, switch 2, switch 3, and switch 4, and we are going to evaluate it or validate the CDP information. Okay, so we are going to validate the CDP information. Now see here, and what we discuss here, we discuss like Cisco Discovery Protocol. CDP stands for Cisco Discovery Protocol. It is going to be enabled in all the switches by default. Okay, the devices means, so routers, switches, access point, WLCs in every device. CDP used to be enabled, and it is used to be run in all the devices. So CDP sends the advertisement from all the ports, throughout all the ports. If you have a 48 ports of switches, the switch used to be send the advertisement, CDP advertisement in all the 48 ports. And that advertisement, CDP advertisement, will have a timer. So every 60 seconds, devices used to exchange the CDP advertisement. So when it is going to exchange the CDP advertisement with the help of multicast address, so this is what the multicast. This is what the multicast address which are going to be used, like 01 colon 00 colon 0C colon CC colon CC colon CC. If you remember this, guys, definitely you can crack the interview. Okay, so interviewer will ask the concept. So once you explain this concept, right, then if you jump here, right, so CDP use the multicast address this. If you tell this, so interviewer may get the good impression on you. And every CDP, every CDP advertisement used to send a between 60 seconds of time period, and CDP information will have a, okay, CDP advertisement will have the information of IP address of the remote device, so all the remote devices. So if you run here the CDP information, see by default we are going to use two different commands, guys, to identify the CDP information. The very first command is normally show CDP neighbor, and the second command is very useful. Okay, the second command is very useful. The first command is in the privilege mode. You are going to run show CDP neigh or show CDP neighbors. Let me take this one. The first command is show CDP neigh or show CDP. So from this command, you are going to know that, okay, all the devices. So all other devices which are connected here. See, I'll draw the topology. So consider we have a switch here, 48 ports of switch. So this is our switch. In this switch, we have a 48 ports. To that 48 ports, we have few devices which are connected. Like I have another switch here, access switch. One, which is connected to here. This side is port number gig 1/1. This side gig 1/2. Likewise, we have another switch which is connected here. Like this is our access switch 2, which is connected on this port number gig 1/48. Here we have a gig 1/48. Okay. So in between we have access points as well. This is our AP access point which is connected. We have another access point which is connected to this port. So I'm going to consider here gig 1/10. This is our gig 1/20. Okay, 1/10 and 1/20. So these are all the local ports. So when a particular command show CDP neighbor in this particular device here, so these ports are going to be called as a local ports. This is our local ports, and remote ports are this, because this is a remote device, right? So this will become the remote port. So here in the AP side we will have a gig 0 port only. In every Cisco's access point we will have a gig 0 port. Okay, so this will become the local ports, and this will become the remote ports, guys. Okay, note down this as well. Now once I run this command show CDP neighbors, so from here, okay, I'll just get to know the information of what devices are connected with me. Okay, so once you perform this command show CDP neighbor, so in this switch you will get to know that access switch 1 is connected and access switch 2 is connected. Okay, and access point 1 is connected and AP 2 is connected to this particular switch. And you will get to know the information of local and remote ports, but you will not get the information of IP address, what IP address is configured on the remote devices and what iOS version is configured on the remote devices, what is the model number of the remote device. These three information you will not get. See, if I run show CDP command, show CDP neighbor, so you will just get to know the information of, okay, local and remote port, information, and along with the host name, but you will not get the information of what is the IP address, what is the IP address is configured on that particular port, or what is the iOS version which is using on the remote devices, and what is the model number of that particular remote device. This information you will not get to know from this command. This command is going to show you what is the local port and the remote port and the host name of the device, like the host name of the device. If you use this particular command, right, if you want to know exactly this information also along with this local port and the remote port, so you will get to know from this information from show CDP neighbor. So if you want to know what is the IP address is configured on the remote device, which means consider here we are in this switch, right? We are in this switch and we are performing the command show CDP neighbor, this command. Okay, so this will become our local device, like local device, and the remote neighbor, this is our neighbor device, so this will become a remote device, right? Remote device or the CDP neighbor device. So if you want to know what exactly the iOS version, the IP address and the model of this particular device, right? So at that scenario, you need to run a different command. What is that different command? The command is, so you should know first, like the command is show CDP neighbor. Till here, the command is same. Show CDP neighbor. Then you need to use the type of the interface and the number of the interface. Then you need to use a detail. Show CDP neighbor. Okay. Show CDP neighbor. Then type of the interface. Type of the interface. Then a number of interface. Number of the interface. Then you need to use details. Detail. So by using this command, guys, okay, you are going to get to know the information of this whole information, this complete information you will get to know. So if you are in this switch, right? So you are in this particular switch, this switch. So you need to know the information about this access switch. So at that scenario, the command will be. So we just written here, right? The command will be. You need to perform this command show CDP neighbors. Then type of the interface. What is the type of this interface? Gig, right? So you need to mention gigabit Ethernet. And the number of the interface is 1/1. 1/1 space detail. So if you perform this command, right? So if you perform this command, you used to get the information of the device ID information. Guys, this is very important thing. Okay. So try to be concentrated because this is a very important command. So once you perform this command, right? So you will have a first line. So you will have the information of like a device ID. Device ID. Here you used to get this is your name actually. Device ID is what? Name. The name of the remote device. Then you'll have information of IP address from this command. You will have the information of IP address as well. Okay. Then you will have the information of like if you have configured the IPv6, that information will also be covered. Then you will have a platform information. Platform. So what platform? Whether the remote device is the Cisco or non-Cisco device, along with the model number also. If it is a switch, right, you will get the model number 29603850. If it is the access point, then you will get the access point model number as well. C9130. C9130. This is one of the access point model, the latest current access point model. So you can remember this. Okay, this is the current latest access point model. Then you will get the information details, guys. This is very important. Okay, another important aspect is interfaces. Interfaces. So in interfaces, you will get the interfaces information. Like what is a local interface? We have gig 1/1, right? So that information, see here. So we have a 1/1, and you will have a remote side device interfaces gig 1/2. So that information will also you used to get here, like gig 1/2. Got it? So both the devices you got. Then, so what iOS version that remote device is using, that also you are going to get here. See, version. So you used to get the information of this as well, like the version of the iOS version related details as well. and peer details, MAC address also you are going to get, and the power related things, everything you used to get. So this much of information you used to get by using this command. So in industry, so when in the production network, like not in industry, in the production network, guys. So when you are trying to troubleshoot, okay, this kind of issues, okay, we have a connectivity issue between this core switch to access switch, between this core switch to this access switch. Okay, we used to have a connectivity here, but we are facing some connectivity issue. We are unable to take the SSH or something else, or something is not working, there's some hardware related issue or the software related issue. Then we used to use the CDP's information first. First, we will see this what are all the devices are connected with the help of this command show CDP neighbor. Then once I get to know that, okay, so access switch is connected on this particular port, then I use this command show CDP neighbor, then type of the interface like gigabit Ethernet 1/1 and the detail, so that I'll get to know what IP address is configured and what is the make and model and what is the host name of the remote devices. Then by using this IP address, I can try to SSH from here itself. So I can try to SSH -L, then I can give the username, then I can mention the IP address, right? So I can hit enter. Once I hit enter, right, it will ask me the password. So this we can do. So in production, CDP is very important. So try to understand about the CDP. Now we will perform a basic lab. Okay. So if you see here, so this is our switch 1, right? So as we discussed, we have 4 switches. So in our switch 1, I didn't configure anything. I'm in enable mode. I'll just configure the host names. Okay. I'll just configure the host names. Then you will see what information we used to get. Like the host name is, I'm going to mention switch 1. Enter. I'm not configuring anything. I'm just configuring the host names, guys. Right, ma'am. Let me close this and I'll take the switch 2. See, somewhere the native VLAN is mismatch discovered on FA0/2, FA0/2. So something, some issue is there. VLAN mismatch confusion, that we will take care later. For now, we will just configure the host name. Host name, this is our switch 2, right? Switch 2. Exit. Right, ma'am. Then I'll take the switch 3. I'll go to the CLI mode. Here also I'll configure the host name. Just I'm not configuring anything. Okay. Host name switch 3. Enter. Exit. Right, ma'am. I'll close this switch as well. I'm in a switch 4. Enable. Configure terminal. Right. The host name is switch 4. Enter. Exit. Right, ma'am. Now guys, we just configured the host name, right, in this topology. So where is the topology? Yeah, this is what the topology. We just configured the host name in all the switches. So this switch we mentioned as a switch 1, and this is our switch 2. This is our switch 3, and here we mentioned switch 4. So I'll log in this switch. Okay, I'll run here show CDP neighbors command. You will see I used to get the information of this device and this device. Why? Because the CDP used to be run by default in all the devices, right? And it used to exchange the advertisement like the CDP advertisement in every 60 seconds. So it used to give the information. This switch will give the information of itself own information to switch 2, and switch 2 used to give its own information to switch 3. So whichever the switches is directly connected, that switches are going to exchange the information. So I'm in a switch 1, guys. See here, I'm in a switch 1. I'm not performing anything. I'm just typing. The command is show CDP neighbor. Just hit enter. See how many switches I'm going to be. I have the connectivity switch, right? FA0/0 switch 2. Something. Let me show CDP neighbor. See, I'm seeing here 2 switches, right? Switch 2 and switch 3. Switch 2 and switch 3. See the host name I'm getting. What is that local port? That information also we are getting. And what is a remote port? So what is a, like, it is a switch, right? It is a timer, guys. Okay, this is the timer. Hold on, timer. S stands for switch, which means switch capability. If it is a router, it will be a R here. And model, like the platform we will discuss, right? It is a 2960 model. And what is the remote port? On remote port, see here in the switch one, here we are, right? This is our FA0/1 local port, and the remote port will also FA0/1. See, local port is in switch 2. Okay, the local port is what in switch 1? FA0/1. In switch 1, local port is FA0/1, and the remote port also FA0/1. Likewise, in switch 3 also we are getting, right? So the local port will be FA0/2. So here we have FA0/2. This is our FA0/2, right? And the remote port is FA0/1, switch 3. See, switch 3's port number FA0/1 we are getting. So this is what the CDP information. So I told you here, like I mentioned here multiple times, we can, by using this command, what we are getting, by using show CDP neighbor, right? There it is. Yeah. By using show CDP neighbor, what information we used to be get? Only this command, show CDP neighbor. We are getting the local port information and the remote port information, right? Remote port information and the host name also. That's it, right? And the capability, whether it is a switch, you will have a S. If it is a router, then you will have a R. So only this information we are getting. We are not getting the IP address information. We are not getting the iOS version and model number. So I'll perform this command, but in Cisco's packet tracer, guys, in the Cisco's packet tracer, this command will not be work. In Cisco's packet tracer, this command will not be work. You need to run this command on EVE-NG devices. EVNG devices are the live devices, like the production device, the live device. So this command is going to be work. Then it is, this information will be populated on that particular information. So now I'll show you that as well. So give me a minute. Likewise, guys, if I log in into this particular switch 2, right, there also you will see show CDP neighbor. See how many switches are connected. Switch 1 is connected, and that information we are getting here, and switch 4 is connected. So this is our switch 2. So switch 2 is connected with whom? Only switch 1 and switch 4, right? So it is going to be take the information of only the directly connected information. This switch 2, we are in a switch 2. When we perform the show CDP neighbor command here, show CDP neighbor command. So what information we got? We receive the information of switch 1 and switch 4 only, but we will not receive this switch because it is not directly connected. So all the switches has to be directly connected. That information we are going to be learn. So in switch 2, we are learning switch 1 information and switch 4 information. See once again the same thing. See, in the switch 2, we are in a switch 2. When we perform the command show CDP neighbor, so we are getting the information of switch 1 and switch 4. So local ports and the remote ports and the capability, whether it is a switch or router, and the platform number. So we have another command, guys. That command is show CDP neighbor, and here we will have a interface like FA0/1 space detail. So this command will not work in the packet tracer. Here we will have only CDP neighbor. This is what the limitations of the packet tracer. So after this, okay, if you type details, let's see. Yeah, details, enter. Yeah, by using this command we can get the information, guys. So CDP neighbor details in packet tracer. This is the information I told you, right? I mentioned you. See here, show CDP neighbor details. So the device ID. What is the device ID? Which means host name. So this is the switch 1, which is connected to the switch 1, right? And the platform also we are getting. What is the entry address? Which means it is the IP address which we haven't configured. So that's why we are not having a IP address. But the platform information is, it is a Cisco's device 2960. Capability is the switch. Switch stands for yes. And interface. What is the local interface and what is the port? This is outgoing port, which means the remote port, right? And the version, iOS version also here. So it is using this version 15.0, right? And compatibility, duplex, advertisement. Even it is connected, the same device, switch 2 is connected with switch 4, right? Earlier it is showing the switch 1 details here. Now it is showing the switch 4 details. See, we have the switch 4 and this is a model. So this is what the things, guys, this is what the things we can achieve. But in the production networks, but in the packet tracer, you can run that command, show CDP neighbor detail. But in the production network, this is a very important command. By using this command, you will get to know all this information, right, by using this command. So particular interface, like particular interface, on which interface which device is connected to what. If you want to know that information, then this is the right command, show CDP neighbor, and the type of the interface and the number of the interface, then details. But in the packet tracer, you just run the show CDP neighbor details. So this command is going to help in the packet tracer, but in the production networks, in the live infrastructure, this is the command. So by using this command, you used to get the device host name, opposite, like the remote device host name, the IP address, platform, and the interfaces, right? The make version of the iOS. This all the information you will get to know. So this is what the information about the CDP, guys. So CDP is going to be work only on the Cisco's devices. It is going to be work by default, guys. Okay. This is running by default in all the Cisco devices. This you need to be remember. Right? If you want to stop on particular interface, so just now we will discuss about what is a drawback, right? The drawback is, consider here. The drawback is, here I have a router. This switch is connected with this particular router. So, okay. And this router used to connect with ISP. So here we have ISP, Internet Service Provider. So here we will have ISP side router. So there will be a connectivity between router to router, right? So this is what our WAN, wide area network, WAN, right? So here we will get the IP address. Here public IP address. Here also we will have a public IP address. So by default, CDP used to be run in all the interfaces, right? All the interfaces of the device. So here also you will run the CDP. So here also the CDP is running, right? So consider this is our like gig interface, gig 1/1. The opposite interface we don't know, okay, because it is a ISP's device, so we don't know what interfaces and what device is connected opposite. But this device, so by sitting here, the ISP guy, okay, by accessing this particular router, if you run the command show CDP neighbor, so in this particular device, you will see this device information, right? Yes or no? You will see the information of this particular device because CDP is running in all the interfaces. It could run in the LAN interface. There is not an issue because this is our inside interface, right? This is our inside infrastructure. This is our trusted network. So there is no issue between running here. But when the ISP connectivity is going towards the ISP, right? So in this interface, we need to disable the CDP. This is the important takeaway point from the CDP's concept. Okay, we need to disable on the WAN side interface. If you don't disable, right, the ISP guy, whoever sitting on this, like whoever checking this router, right, he can take the access of this router. When we perform the show CDP neighbor command here, so he can able to get the information of this device, like what IP address is configured, the opposite side, what is the make and model, what model device we are using in our like office or the data center, what is the iOS version we are running in this particular router, that everything he'll get to know. See, if it is the ISP guy, that's fine. But consider he is the hacker. What you are going to do? So he'll get to know the information of your device and he can jump inside your LAN network because every iOS will have some kind of issue. So that's why Cisco used to be run the patches, right? Release the patches. So every time Cisco used to release the patches too, so every iOS will have a bugs, guys. Even in the mobiles, in the laptops, or everywhere, right? Every software will have a bug, right? So to minimize that bug or to reduce from the bug, okay, from the issues. So every time patches used to be released, the OEM. See, if this hacker knows that what is the bug in this particular iOS version, if you are running to 15.020x, okay, so this guy can able to get compromised to this particular device. So we need to disable the CDP on this particular WAN interfaces. How we can disable? Just log in into the interface and type there no CDP run. Like this is a gig 1/1, right? So interface gig 1/1, then run this command no CDP, run exit. So this thing you need to perform, guys. This is a very important thing. In the WAN side, in the WAN, you need to run this particular command. If you don't run that, so this ISP guy or the outside guys can able to get the information of the whole complete information. What information? So in the CDP advertisement, right? In the CDP advertisement, what information used to go? So I mentioned here also. So logical IP address means IP address of your device, right? And the host name of your device, and the hardware platform, iOS version, local and remote port. So by using this, the outside user, like the unnecessary user, the outside user, the attacker may get compromised to your device, right? So that's why we need not to run the CDP on the WAN side interface, right? CDP can be used only between the Cisco devices. And the disadvantage also, this is also a one more disadvantage, guys. CDP is going to be run. CDP is going to be run only on the Cisco's devices. So other OEM devices, we have a hell number of OEMs, right? Original equipment manufacturer. Cisco is not only the one OEM in the production, the IT infrastructure we have in the networking. We have multiple OEMs, like we have a Nokia, right? We have a Juniper. In my previous video also I noted down around like 12 to 13 OEM information, OEM names. Try to remember that as well. Okay, Nokia, Juniper, HP, Aruba, Dell. We have hell number of OEMs. But what is here, right? So CDP protocol is only useful between the Cisco's devices. You should have all the devices Cisco's OEM. If you have the other OEM device, now consider here. Now, if you have other OEMs device in this same topology, okay, in this same topology, if you have other OEM devices as well, then you will not. The CDP is not going to help you much in the production networks, in your infrastructure. CDP is not going to help you much. Okay, let me draw here. Consider this is our Cisco switch. Okay, this is our Cisco OEM. This is also a Cisco OEM, and this is not the Cisco's device. This is our Juniper switch. This is also our Juniper switch, right? Then if you run the CDP neighbor, show CDP neighbor command in this particular router, you used to get the information of only this device, because Cisco, the CDP stands for Cisco Discovery Protocol. So which is going to take the information of only Cisco's device. So non-Cisco, this is a non-Cisco device, this is a Juniper device. So that device information, it is not going to be carry, and it is not going to take that device information, right? So only Cisco's device information. So for that, okay, this is what the one more disadvantages, and the one more disadvantage is the CDP is going to take the information of only the directly connected neighbors can only know. So if you are here in this switch 1, you will get to know the information of only this device and this device. You will not get the information of this particular device, because it is not directly connected. It is connected in the topology. It is connected in the topology, but it is indirectly connected, right? It is connecting to switch 2 and switch 3. From these switches, you will get to know this information and this information, but you will not get this information, right? So you will not get that information. So CDP is going to be collect the information of only the directly connected neighbors information. That is also a disadvantage. Now, if you have a CDP devices and the other OEM devices, then which protocol is going to be help you here? So here it is going to be help you LLDP. So that's why I mentioned here the other topic is LLDP.